Chapter 63. The Return from the Burial. The Sabbath. It was now the hour at which the Sabbath began. Nicodemus and Joseph returned to the city by a little private gate which, by special permission, I think, Joseph had been allowed to make in the city wall near the garden. They had previously informed the Blessed Virgin, Magdalene, John, and some of the women who wanted to return to Mount Calvary to pray and to get some things they had left there, that this gate, as well as that of the conaculum, would be open to them whenever they would knock. Mary Helly, the Blessed Virgin's aged sister, was conducted back to the city by Mary Marcus and some other women. The servants of Nicodemus and Joseph went back to Mount Calvary for the tools and things they had left here. The soldiers went to join the guard at the gate of execution, while Cassius rode to Pilate with the lance. He related all that had happened to him, and promised to bring him an exact account of all that might still take place, if he would give him command of the guard, which the Jews, as had already been reported, would not fail to ask of him. Pilate listened with secret dismay, but treated Cassius as an enthusiast, and impelled by disgust and superstition, ordered him to put the lance outside the door. When the Blessed Virgin and her companions were returning with their vessels and other things from Mount Calvary, where they had again poured out their tears and prayers, they espied coming toward them a troop of soldiers headed by a torchbearer. The women halted on both sides of the road until the crowd passed. The soldiers were going up to Calvary, perhaps to take away and bury the crosses before the Sabbath. When they had passed, the holy women continued their way to the little private gate. Peter, James the Greater, and James the Less met Joseph and Nicodemus in the city. All wept. Peter was especially vehement in his expressions of grief. He embraced Joseph and Nicodemus with tears, accused himself, lamented that he had not been present at the death of the Lord, and thanked them for bestowing upon him a tomb. All were quite beside themselves with sorrow. They agreed that the door of the conaculum should be opened upon their knocking, and then separated, in order to seek the other disciples who were scattered in various directions. Later, I saw the Blessed Virgin and her companions knocking at the conaculum and being admitted, then Abinadar, and by degrees most of the apostles and several of the disciples entered. The holy women retired to the apartments occupied by the Blessed Virgin. They took some refreshment and spent some moments in tears and mourning, relating to one another all that had happened. The men changed their garments, and I saw them standing under the lamp celebrating the Sabbath. Then they ate lambs at the different tables around the conaculum, but without any ceremony. It was not the Paschal lamb. They had already eaten that yesterday. All were in great trouble and sadness. The holy women also prayed with Mary under a lamp. Later, when it had grown quite dark, Lazarus, Martha, the widow Moroni of Naim, Dinah the Samaritan, and Mary the Suphanite were admitted. They were come from Bethania to keep the Sabbath. Once more was sorrow renewed by the narrations of each.